For what purpose does the lady rise?
Mr. Speaker, I call House Bill 460 to the floor.
Which bill?
House Bill 460, the Abortion Human Rights Act.
Gentleman from 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the committee be excused.
Second.
Is there debate on the motion? Gentleman from 22.
Mr. Speaker, no means no.
Is there further debate? Good gentleman from District 34.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can feel the discomfort in the room, the annoyance in the room, that one person is deciding for 70 what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 minutes. I feel that. But what I also feel is the discomfort and annoyance and the suffering that 1.7 million Idahoans have by not having a proper discussion and debate on important issues such as tax policy and this one, which is abortion. And it's frustrating to have one person decide that for 1.7 million. That's what this is about. The process says we should do the people's work. Let's do it.
Is there further debate? Lady from 1.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to debate against the motion. This bill would end abortion in
Okay,
Idaho.
we're not debating the merits of the bill.
No, I'm just talking about why it needs to be pulled from committee.
Well,
The process, I went through the proper process of this. I've discussed this topic with the chairman. He does not like the topic, and I understand that. So this is my only other opportunity to bring this bill up to the floor. What this bill would do is it would end.
Madam, we can't debate the merits of the bill. We're debating a motion on whether the committee should be excused or not about what the bill contains. You've given a brief description. That's all you're allowed.
Okay.
Please continue with your debate.
Thank you. So again, the process is broken. When one person can control whether or not an idea is discussed. This is an idea that is very important to my district. It's important to the counties around me. There's a lot of people that would like to hear this bill. There's other states that have addressed this bill. And so I just want to have a hearing. I just want to be able to discuss this in the public, and I'm being denied that. So that's why I'm asking to vote against holding this bill in committee. I'm asking to call it out of committee.
Is there further debate? Gentleman from 13.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the good lady from District 1. She did come talk to me about this particular bill. She asked me if she would be allowed to introduce it in the House State Affairs Committee because abortion is a germane subject in the House State Affairs Committee. I said in its current form, absolutely not. We will have to have a certain provision taken out of the bill, and that, without trying to go into it further, Mr. Speaker, so we're discussing only the motion, I gave her a path forward so that the bill would actually have a hearing if there were changes made to the bill. That's very common in this process, that a lot of times we have to change bills in order to get them to move through the process. So, Mr. Speaker, I would support the motion to dismiss the committee because the member did know what needed to be happen in order to get a hearing on this bill. So I would ask that you support the motion.
Is there further debate on the motion to excuse the committee? Lady from 1, for what purpose do you rise?
To debate for the second time.
Does anyone wish to debate the motion for the first time? Lady from 1 for the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the good gentleman was very kind, and he has a different idea and a different approach to this. And so he wants me to remove something from the bill that changes the complete point that I'm trying to make. It totally doesn't get across the point I'm trying to make. And that's why we need a hearing on it, so we can just discuss this publicly. I would love to have the conversation to where we can get ideas and hear both sides of the story. This is my concern all the time with this body, is if we suppress ideas, whether it's a Democrat bill that the majority party does not like, or whether it's a majority bill that the Democrats don't like, if we suppress ideas, then we never get to have the conversations to move each other back and forth to a direction. I can't try to influence somebody if I can't have the conversation in a public arena. And that's all I'm asking, is that we could have the public conversation to get the players on the table so I can identify the groups that would be against my idea or for my idea. Then I can go talk to those groups. But if that idea is never allowed to be brought forward, I have nowhere to go with that. I've tried to run this bill several years. I'm waiting for, for a chairman that will let me see it. So now it's in Ways and Means, and for the Ways and Means Committee to sit on over 25 bills and not hear any of these ideas to reduce taxes, to end abortion, it's ridiculous that we're not allowed to have those conversations in this body. That is what this is supposed to be, the arena of ideas. And every time we suppress my district's ideas, I don't think that's fair. When people in Boise are determining what decisions get made in this body, because they're the ones that Ada County does not think like the entire rest of the state. So if my
Good
chairman...
lady, that's across the line. They
If my
may, they may
chairman's
not.
from a
Those
different-
assertions, though, are broad and...
Let me rephrase that. So if one legislator from a different area of the state that thinks completely different than my area of the state is making the decision for the ideas from my state, I think that's unfair, that one person from a different area could veto an idea. It just doesn't seem fair. I've tried several times to get this through, and I'm just asking that we could have a hearing. I'd be totally happy to have this bill be redirected to a different committee, just to have a hearing, or to have the Ways and Means not continually to deny this bill to be heard. This bill will end abortion. That's what it does. And so I'd really like to do that in this state, and I think this is the bill to do it. So I'm asking that you would vote no to continue to hide this bill in the committee's chairman's Ways and Means Committee.
Is there further debate? Gentleman from 13.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to reiterate the point, as I do with most folks that have a particular piece of legislation that comes forward, one of the responsibilities of the chairman is to make sure that you do a lot of groundwork prior to putting the bill up for a hearing in order to avoid a lot of contention that can take place, especially with two particular subjects, abortion and gun rights. I have let the good lady know that I am more than happy to hear this bill if she will make a simple change to the bill. There is no pro-life group in the state of Idaho that would support her bill other than the group that's from her district. And so I'm trying to...
I object. We're getting into the merits of the bill and the discussion of the argument. If we can't do it, then they can't do it either. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I also object. You don't know other groups wouldn't support this. They haven't heard
Your
it.
point is taken. The
Thank you.
gentleman went as far as you all did. We're talking about a bill that deals with a particular subject, and but the motion before us that we're debating is whether or not the committee should be excused. Gentleman from 13,
Thank you,
please
Mr.
continue.
Speaker. I wanted to let the entire body know there's a lot of misinformation that has gone out around this particular subject. And I do know I've reached out to not only the good lady that supports it, but those that do not support it that are pro-life. And so I'm trying to help the body understand there's misinformation that's being disseminated around this issue. If there's a change that she's willing to make to the bill,
Mr. Speaker, I object. So,
State your point.
thank you. By saying there's misinformation, it's putting you under the Department of Homeland Security domestic terrorism
Okay.
language.
All right,
And so to say anyone is spreading disinformation in an arena of
Well,
ideas.
misinformation abounds in this process, and including today.
So that is a criminal act at this point.
All right, thank you. The gentleman has the floor to continue his debate in favor of the motion to excuse the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You don't have a more pro-life chairman than myself. This is an issue that's very near and dear to my heart.
Mr. Speaker,
Gentleman from 34.
object. Again, we're talking about the issue. The motion is, does the bill stay in committee or does it get heard? Talking about pro-life issues or misinformation, again,
Right.
is getting off
Your
point
point
like you
is
stopped
taken.
us.
That is arguably across the line to talk about the subject, and I would recommend the good gentleman to remember exactly what he just said. Go ahead, good gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So for a couple of years now, I have let the member know that if she is willing to make a change to this bill, that I would be more than happy to hear that bill. That offer still stands. It stands today. We're open until the last day of session, so if she will make that change to the bill, we still could get that bill heard in committee, and so I'd ask that you support the motion.
Thank you. Is there further debate on the motion to excuse the committee? Gentleman from 13.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to say that District 13
Oh,
is
excuse
not.
me. We are on the debating for the second time, so the gentleman, if he wishes to debate for the first time, must ask the body for permission.
Can I have permission?
The gentleman that is asking unanimous consent. The gentleman's asking unanimous consent to be allowed to debate the bill for the first time. Is there an objection? Hearing none. The gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just stood up to say that District 13 is not an Ada County.
Thank you for that clarification. Lady from 10,
Permission to debate for the first time.
without objection, the lady has the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I would just like to say that to decide or have the opinion that one person tells me what to do is offensive, and it's not true. And I have a mind of my own, and I vote the way I think I need to. And I have a feeling that there are about 69 other people who do the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further debate on the motion to excuse the committee? Hearing none, will the gentleman close the debate?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just ask you to support the committee chairman on this.
Thank you. Debate is closed. The question before us is, shall the committee be excused? The clerk will unlock the machine and the members will record their votes. Has every member voted? Representative Troy. I believe that's it. Does any member wish to change his vote?